video you're watching right now is not an extract from the new season of the Mandela catalog or a new work from Kane Parsons after The Oldest View, even though it clearly takes inspiration from fabricated found footage. No, what you're watching takes place on Terra, in the Bolivarian forest to be more precise, where strange, horrific phenomena seem to be happening. This is how we are introduced to IS7, the black flow of the drowning seekers, and the latest installment of integrated strategies that was announced in the recent China stream. I'm Dr.Pitanger, and today we are gonna analyze everything that was shown about IS7 and what we can expect about this game mode. I won't dive too much into the story since other people do it way better than me. However, it's interesting to notice that the various recordings during the trailer have different names. Dawn Marker 7, during which the speaker says something about passing through this marker for the 7th time already. Dawn Marker 8, which has disappeared. Dawn Marker 13 and 21 that don't even show any marker. They don't exist, during which the speaker mentions that the creatures may be fake. Marker is gone, during which the marker seems to have disappeared. I did this, did I, where it's unclear what's happening. During the trailer, it seems the speaker is slowly losing his mind, seeing creatures that are seemingly multiplying after consuming others. All of this to say that the themes seem to be heavily leaning towards disorientation, psychological horror, loss of sense of time and mind, implying the mechanics and or enemies in this IS may make you lose your path or cause debuffs on you. After they drop the name, we are introduced to the layout of the map, and the first thing you'll immediately notice is that this doesn't look like any prior IS. Indeed, previous IS used a linear approach in the layout of their floors used in some roguelites like Slay the Spire, while in IS7 the layout is actually more circular. There are branchings that come back to some original positions, which overall makes it looks way more like something like Darkest Dungeon, something they actually tried a bit with IS6 and the Remnant of Consciousness. I tried to translate all the words in this picture. This currency in the top right corner is called mobility, which probably tells you about how many rooms you can explore on this floor, again, very akin to the candle system in IS6. This green node reads doing business secretly, maybe implying this could be the shop. The one below reads meet by chance. It may be an encounter, or maybe it's a new way to recruit an operator. This purple node in the bottom left corner reads fight, which is self-explanatory, while this red one and this grey one read emergency operation. The whole right side of the map is grey, maybe implying the player has already cleared this part. This bottom right clear node reads wandering into Wonderland. That's right, the exact same name of the node in IS6. It's up to anyone to imagine what the IS7 iteration of the Bosky Passage would look like. There is another node right here that says reaching the end of the dangerous road. I also tried to translate what's below, but only got some vague results like total estimated value and quantity part. On the next screen, we are explaining the basics of this IS. This says how to get to the next area. Here it says moving requires energy, ability to act can be replenished in several ways, and here defeat enemies on dangerous paths. On this screen, we are given an important explanation. Once action points are exhausted, a hunt will be triggered. At the same time, we were explained that if we cannot go to the next floor with the points we have, we don't lose, but we trigger this quote-unquote hunt, which seems to be a combat. Indeed, this says after victory enters the next area, while this one says if it fails, the investigation ends. I think it's safe to assume this will be a difficult combat since this is supposed to be a punishment. This kind of reminds me of the torch system in Darkest Dungeon, where the difficulty increases if you take too much time to clear the expedition. Next is this screen. Here it reads parts box, whatever that means. This reads natural object, frost crystal tree. A perfect battle results in an increased selling price, an imperfect battle results in damage. So it may be a relic that can be sold for a lot of ingots if you don't take damage, but breaks if you do. This is concept body, white model dog. When this part is moved unexpectedly, hope is gained, damage occurs after it takes effect. It's probably a quest item that allows you to get get hope if you successfully bring it somewhere. Finally, the last one reads, Process Product, Standard Engine. It consumes 1 action point to move to any node within a certain range and can be used up to 5 times. This probably allows you to skip some nodes, a bit like wing boots in Slay the Spire. It's important to notice this says craft item. Indeed, in the next screen we can read, choose how to move. Utilize various crafted items to move more efficiently. Different crafted items will bring different movement effects. These are apparently craftable items that give you an edge regarding mobility. This one in the middle is Scrap Wheel. It can be used to move to a non-combat node within a certain range. Crossing areas will damage it. It can be used a maximum of 2 times. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. The one at the bottom reads Canot's Tentacles. The elusive merchant can be moved within a certain range. Use the maximum of once, probably implying you can instantly teleport to the shop. Finally, the one at the top says Hand Engine. You can travel to a connected node which will consume action points equal to the distance traveled. I think it's safe to imagine this is simply the basic way of traveling. In the next screen, we get a new node, a Sinister Premonition, which could be akin to a Prophecy node. We also get the description of a debuff that will affect 1 combat. Real Utopia go to Wenlan. Operators are frozen upon deployment, periodically inflicting cold on all units. Then some flavor text. You must remember that temperature is the servant of sin. It melts us and makes us flawed. The text in the top left corner is tied to this debuff and reads, Find and dismantle the ideal source. Can eliminate the effects of Utopia in the current region, which may be implying a node in the floor is hiding away to negate the debuff and you have to find it. In the next screen, we get introduced to a new mechanic and a new type of node. The mechanic is called Collectibles Hide and Seek. Each time you enter a new area, mark a node. Passing through that node will reward you with a natural item, which may be a rare part, probably a rare collectible. The flavor text reads, Hide an acorn so that all things may recognize us. On the right, the node is called Residence Outpost. It generates movable markers, and nodes occupied by these markers become malicious residents, and you can see the marker below. The next screen finally teaches about this node. It says retained recruitment vouchers can be used, so kind of similar to the recruitment conservation system from IS6. Then these 2 nodes are called Twist and Turn Secret Passage, and read, they appear in pairs and can teleport to the other end of the winding secret passage without consuming movement points. These are basically teleports that offer you more strategic freedom to plan your exploration in the floor. Then this big node at the bottom is called Viewpoint and reads, upon arrival, unknown nodes in the surrounding areas will be revealed. Basically, it gives you info on the floor. Finally, this node there reads Emergency Assistance. Originum ingots can be used to recruit emergency operators. These operators can provide temporary support in the next battle. So it's kind of like the free operators we used to be getting, but only for 1 fight, and it costs ingots. And in this next screen, we have explanation on the new seed system. Obtaining seeds and nurturing them in a special shop has a chance to yield a harvest on the next exploration. Remaining resources and collectibles from the last exploration on the number of times you can start selecting items. Basically, this allows you to get a perk for your next run. I can't say I like this, but it is what it is. And finally, we have 2 gameplay videos. The first one shows a new map with seemingly no new enemy until this civilian gets hit by this device and reveals actually a different enemy, some kind of glitchy dog. All enemies are also surrounded by this aura, which may indicate that all these enemies are actually fake, therefore taking us back to what was said in the trailer. The map itself seems pretty simple, although it's worth noticing the golden plant in the top left corner, which may or may not be a chest. The second map introduces us to 2 new enemies. The first one are these range goats that blink away when hit with an approximately 3 seconds cooldown. It's worth noticing that they can apparently use this blink to jump over walls. Also, the blink doesn't seem to be tied to the goats, but rather to these weird ties here, since the second enemy, this big wolf, can also blink, and once blinked on the other side, the goat can't apparently teleport anymore. Both of these enemies can inflict a new type of elemental damage that Kiostin V describes as mania or fury. It's unsure what it does at the moment. Last but not least, we get to see the operator that will be boosted in this IS, Mechanist. Just like in Stronghold Protocol, he's a defender. However, keep in mind that his subclass may not be normal protector, since Radiant had her subclass completely changed between SP and IS. And there we go, guys. This is it it for the infos we currently have about IS7. Frankly speaking, I can't wait to play this mode. From the aesthetic to the fact that they are finally trying something new, yet clearly interesting gameplay wise. I know it will be months until we get it, but it's alright, we still have IS6 in the meantime. Anyway, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and see you in the next video.